You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
Well, a very pleasant good evening. Time for Small Biz Florida right here on WPSL and WSTU with Tom and Katie.
Thank you, sir. And welcome to another segment and installment of Small Biz Florida, the podcast and broadcast that's all things business across the Treasure Coast and the entire state of Florida. Small Biz Florida is brought to you by the Florida Small Business Development Center Network and is produced by the Florida SBDC at Indian River State College. Our show is designed and produced to highlight and promote business assistance resources, celebrate entrepreneurial success, present best practices, and most importantly, provide timely business information for Florida's small business owners and operators. I am Tom Kindred, and I serve as the Regional Director for the Florida SBDC at IRSC. And as I always like to tell people, I also spent about 25 years in private enterprise. And I have the checking account that has no money in it to prove it. So,
Yes.
and as I always tell people, had I taken the time to understand and take advantage of the Florida Small Business Development Center at IRSC, I'm confident I could have been a better manager, owner, and operator. And I'm quite certain my checking account may not have been so empty. So I encourage folks to learn about us and to use the services of the SBDC, especially in a time like this when so many small businesses are really kind of shaking their head and trying to figure out, well, what do we do today?
Just think, if you knew about the SBDC, we'd all be driving your tractors. Just think about that.
That's right. We would have owned the equipment marketplace.
There you go.
Had I known about, I'm going to tell you what would have really happened. Had I known about the SBDC, somebody would have called Dr. Massey, and he would have called security, and had me removed from the campus because they'd have said, "My God, is Kindred really using the SBDC that much, or is he just loitering here on campus?" So. Because again, as a small business owner, it is easy for me to really understand the value and the power of this program. So, which is the reason 4 years ago, or am I missing a year?
Oh,
Come
we're
on.
going to
There's
be
no
starting
way.
year 6 this fall.
I think you count in dog years
No,
or something,
no.
Greg. There's no way we've been doing this for 5 years.
Hey, Cliff's got almost all these on video, so we can go back 5 years.
Cliff, I want you to verify that, Cliff. I need you to verify the start date of this show. I think Greg adds a year to it.
Maybe
But,
it's dog years.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you count in dog years. But 5 years ago, according to Greg, we started this show. And again, the whole reason that I wanted to start this radio show was so that I would have something to do on Thursday nights. No. I started this show 5 years ago, according to Greg. I started this show because I understood that I wanted to make sure that people in business, small business owners and operators, knew about this program. And whether you take advantage of it or not, whether you engage in it or not, that's fine. That's your decision. But my vow was that I would make sure that everyone knew about this resource. So that's why we started the show, and here we are at 5 years. So, Greg, we appreciate your partnership and your guidance and leadership on this show, Greg. And
It's been fun.
And we certainly appreciate Carol's support and of the show, and Cliff. Cliff is our great technology man behind the scenes that gets all this recorded and uploaded. We archive all these shows, and now we have Katie, standout marketing specialist with the Florida SBDC.
The
IRSC.
brains of the operation.
That's right, the brains of the operation. And Katie, for the first time in a number of years, is making sure that these shows are archived properly, uploaded, and on Facebook. And from time to time, we do provide some valuable information. So it might be important that you go back and watch one of these shows to hear some valuable information.
One show a month. We guarantee you'll learn something. Oh.
I'm going to shoot for more than one.
Yes, Katie serves as our executive producer of this show, so she's trying to make sure that each and every show there's some valuable information. So again, we appreciate those that tune in and listen. And you know, it took a little while, but there's not really a day go by now that somebody doesn't tell me, you know what, Tom, we hear you on Thursday night. So it is nice to hear from folks that they're listening, and hopefully, like you say, at least once a month, we bring you something of value and interest. But we hope we do it a little more often.
And of course, your Thursdays now are simulcast on both WPSL and STU, and repeated again over the weekend, and then STU on Mondays at 11.
Right. So we appreciate that. Again, the purpose of the show is to make sure that we certainly the primary mission was always that we promote the SBDC and promote the resources and that's available to small business owners. I met with an owner today, incredible small business. He's just done an incredible job with that business, but met with him today, and we basically talked about three things in his business. He talked about the desire to get involved in government contracting, which we can absolutely help him do.
You bet.
We have an incredible PTAC coordinator, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center coordinator, Scotty Wilson. This gentleman is perfectly positioned to obtain and acquire some government contracts. So Scotty will help him in that area.
Cool. Good
Then he
stuff.
says to me, he goes, and I'd like to freshen up my employee manual, and I'd like to understand what the latest channels are to recruit. I said, say no more. I said, we have Mr. Tom Epsky, an HR specialist on our team. Great. So we'll have Tom Epsky get in touch with this business owner about that. And then he said, there's going to be some opportunities out there, and right now I'm in a pretty good position. I'd like to talk about maybe getting a line of credit for my business. And I said, say no more. We have folks that can review your financials and get you in a position to go to the bank and talk about a line of credit. And it really is. It's just incredible, the resources that are here. So with one visit, this business is going to get a call from 3 consultants, and he's going to put together probably an incredible little strategic plan for 2020 and 2021 for his business.
That's nice.
So
That's
again,
nice.
it's a great program, and I can't say enough about it, and encourage folks to, if you're in business, take advantage. So what we wanted to do tonight, Katie and I are gonna take the load tonight of the show, but there is so much going on. I guess I should publicly, maybe it's a good opportunity for me to publicly apologize to everybody who has not received a return phone call or return email from me. In 2 weeks, who knows?
I'm still waiting for one from 6 months ago.
Publicly apologize. Cliff, can you put something across the screen that says
X him out.
Right.
Tom Kindred formally apologized.
Right. Yeah. Tom formally
County
apologizes. But right, we have been a little busy. What we are doing,
I would say buried.
Yeah, I didn't want to use that word, but yes, it's probably a good word to use. But we have been engaged across the 4 counties. Our engagement is different in each county, but as we've talked the last couple of shows, all 4 of the counties within the Treasure Coast have received their CARES Act funding. Each county was given the opportunity to receive some money, develop a budget for those dollars. So counties have developed their budgets. They're giving some money to nonprofit organizations and get health care. And so, and part of in fact, all 4 counties did designate some of those dollars to small business grants. So as per the mission of the Florida SBDC at IRSC, we have jumped in and offered to help each one of those counties in any way we could in helping to get those dollars out into the hands of small business owners and operators. So that is what we've been doing. So we've definitely been a little busy. So if I have failed to call you back or failed to send you an email, I apologize. I'll be happy to provide you my home phone, my wife's cell phone, and
Don't do that to her.
A couple of years ago, you were going to give your cell phone, but
that's all right.
now it's your wife's. Oh, man.
Well, I think my voicemail crashed. It crashed like some sort of overload on my cell phone. My screen cracked. I got so many voicemails. So anyway, we do apologize, and please be patient with us. We are working as fast and hard as we can. The good news is our center also received some dollars. We were mandated to spend at least dedicate 75% of these dollars to increase in our consulting capacity, and we dedicated more than 75%. So the Florida SBDC and IRSC, within a matter of days, will double our staff size.
Cool.
So
good stuff.
We will have at least another 7 to 8 consultants on staff. They will be with us at least through at least half of next year, if not more than that. We have identified some specialists. We've identified a digital marketing specialist who we're bringing on staff. We've got an HR specialist who we're bringing on staff. We've got a strategic planning specialist who we're bringing on staff, a technology specialist who's coming on with us. 2 of our gentlemen have financial accounting backgrounds, so they're coming on staff. So we really have got some good people. So just hang in there with us, be patient, and within a matter of days, we're going to take them through a little bit of an orientation and get them up to speed quickly, and then they will be on the street to meet with folks and to help consult, answer questions, provide advice, feedback, and try to deal with what small business owners are going through right now in trying to maintain their business.
Saw a picture of you on Facebook from Martin County. And so how are things going down there?
Yeah, we're not as engaged daily with Martin County, but we are in touch with the county, and they know we're on site to help their applicants. But I hear things are moving along pretty well in Martin County. It is a manual application in Martin County, so you can print it out, fill it out. Pretty standard stuff across the 4 counties, tax returns, W-9s, list of employees, so pretty standard stuff that you need to gather, and you turn that in, manually turn that in down in Martin County. So, but I think they're doing very well, and I think I can safely say that that things are moving here in St. Lucie County. We're starting to see some grants starting to get approved. So, you have to fill the pipeline. People applied, and the applications are getting reviewed. But I think that process, as the pipeline fills up, then applications will get approved and get out there. So I did hear today that some of these got confirmation that some applications have been approved, and that people are being notified that they're about ready to receive a check.
Good stuff. That's
good
great.
news
That's
here.
Great.
Indian River County has done a great job. We're working very closely, as we are with St. Lucie County and Indian River County. I know that a number of over a dozen grants have been approved and are on the way to those folks up in Indian River County, and things are moving pretty good up there. I think Katie told me that on Facebook we saw some postings last weekend from Okeechobee County where they were handing out
We
some
did.
checks.
They started to disperse some funds. And, speaking of on the streets, Tom himself has been in every county in our FSBDC mobile unit as a consultant helping with these applications.
That is a cool mobile unit.
This is the last week you're doing that, Tom.
Yes, it is the last week.
Are you going to miss it?
I'm gonna miss that. It's been kind of fun. I'll tell you that the bright side to all of this is that I really get to learn an awful lot about a lot of small businesses in our marketplace. I have learned about more restaurants. I never knew all these restaurants existed. Mm-hmm. And of course, in Indian River County, the grant is really focused on hospitality. So a lot of restaurants have applied. Okay. So I'm learning about all kinds of great restaurants in Vero Beach. So we could do a Vero restaurant review one night.
Why not? Let's do it.
I'll be happy. Well, I'm going to go try them all out. It is the Peter and Julie Cummins Library down in Martin County. So just to make sure you understand that, that's where you have to turn those applications in Martin County. Indian River County's application is digital. You can fill it out online. You can ship that application to us. We're reviewing those. St. Lucie County's application is online. You fill that out digitally. It all automatically uploads, and we're reviewing those. Martin County's is a manual application. You print it out, fill it out, take it to the Cummins Library. And in Okeechobee, I think it also is a digital application. I think
yes, it's on
yes.
the Okeechobee County Economic Development Corporation's website.
Okay. All right. So again, just want to make sure everybody knows all 4 counties have grant applications out there. I encourage small business owners. Remember, the eligibility with all 4 are different. But whatever county you're in, I would absolutely encourage you to look it up, find out, and take advantage. These are grants, folks. These are not loans. So you do not have to pay this money back. With whatever little hassle you've got to go through to pull your P&Ls or pull some bank statements or pull some invoices from your utility bills, your rent, whatever hassle you've got to go through for that is well worth it.
What's a P&L?
That's right.
Oh,
I used to just run L's.
You're assuming there is a profit. Oh, I see.
Right,
okay.
I just ran L's.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, mine were just called L's. So, anyway, that's where we are. I want to start with that and make sure that everybody understands that. And please, 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 if you've got questions about any one of those county grant programs, you can always call Katie.
Yes.
Katie's been looking for things to do during the day.
Yeah,
right.
So
nothing to do from 8
she'd
to
love
7
to answer
PM.
some questions. So, but feel free to call us. And again, we beg of you, just be patient with us. We are bringing on these new consultants. So we are going to be able to respond here pretty quickly to the phone calls and the requests. So anyway, any thoughts? Did I miss anything on the grants that's going on? Katie, did you want to kind of?
Well, I mean, some questions I've gotten from grant applicants have been, how did the SBDC get involved with this application process? I mean, why are we the ones, here answering the phone, and what questions can we help them with?
I think the answer is just a natural answer to that question, because we are the primary point of contact for small business assistance. We serve as the primary point of contact for what's called the Small Business Emergency Bridge Loan. So after any disaster in the state of Florida, which is unique to Florida, it really is a unique program, Florida has set aside a fund because we recognize there's a statistic out there that says 40% of businesses that close after a disaster won't reopen. So again, in some forward visionary thinking, our state government decided that they were going to create a pot of money that could be, quickly deployed into an area following a disaster. So, it helps a business fix the windows, fix the roof, get open quickly. It is a loan; you have to pay it back, but of course, it's a very advantageous loan. It's 0% interest, and this year for COVID, the terms were a year. So we are the primary point of contact on that emergency bridge loan. And of course, when COVID first hit and the state opened up the emergency bridge loan, the Florida SBDC at IRSC, we processed about 95 applications, funded 65 of those applications, and we were able to help put $3,185,000 on the street very quickly when COVID first, when the disaster was kind of first declared. Unfortunately, all of us thought this might be a short term, but it's turned into a long-term disaster. But I think that the short answer to your question is the SBDC serves as that primary point of contact for that loan. It was a natural progression for us to just be involved in these local loans.
That loan was so easy to apply for too. You think about how onerous this thing could get. But it was real easy.
Yeah, it's a simple. I again, simple on the part of the applicant to get, yes, there's work on our side. It does require review because that is a loan different than these in the county.
Sure.
These are grants. It does require a little bit of work on the backside to get them approved, review the applicant. But yes, you're absolutely right. And even these applications, if some people may think they're a little cumbersome and difficult, but again, as I said just a minute ago, it's well worth the effort. It's a grant. You don't have to pay it back, and it may be the difference between you lasting another month and trying to get through this thing and not. So anyway, that's a quick answer to the question of why we're involved, and because it's just a natural place for us to be, to help small business owners stay in business. So anyway. All right, so I want to just a couple of things. Let's start. I want to start a little bit with Katie tonight, and then we'll kind of move into some things going on. I want to update everybody on some trainings, but let's start. Obviously, the important thing is we're off and running with a new semester at Indian River State College, and I think it's important that we make sure that people know, hey, the college is open. We are.
Oh yeah, very much
teaching.
so.
We are instructing. We are providing students with educational opportunities at the most affordable price in the country, and it is still a good time to get your education and get your degree. So, Katie, just kind of update us real quick. What's campus look like now, and what are you hearing on the sidewalks of campus?
Campus is still really quiet, but students are starting to come back, and that's a good thing. I know teachers, faculty, we're happy to have everybody back and see students, in the bookstore, buying books and abiding by social distancing. Everybody's wearing their masks, but it is nice to see students back on campus. Classes have started up as of last week. Fall semester is here and here to stay until December 23rd. I'm also a student, so I'm counting down until finals.
Is this your last semester?
Second to last.
Okay.
You guys have me till spring.
That's good. Remind me to update your to-do list.
Yes.
If you're only going to be here through spring.
Oh, okay. All right.
And again, what's the story with in-person classes? College is having in-person classes, and
yes.
Are there some hybrids? Talk about the hybrid model. So how's all this working now?
So most students are electing to stick with virtual, but there's some classes that just do not make sense to take online. Chem labs, a lot of math classes are just easier in that face-to-face environment. So students have the option of taking the face-to-face classes, but it's a little bit of a mix. Most of their homework and assignments are done via the Blackboard, the Echo 360, and things like that. And then they can go to talk to the professor during lecture hours, which would be the actual class time once a week, and ask questions and get that face-to-face interaction and kind of get some interpersonal things done.
Yeah, I think about the folks in the photonics lab. How in the world would you do that virtually?
Yeah. Right.
I just can't even comprehend something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's great.
And I just thought when you mentioned that too, and it just popped in my head. You are a student still. You're working on your 4-year degree.
I am.
Nice. Your bachelor's in
business administration.
Okay. And your business classes are, I'm assuming you have a little bit of a mixture too. Do you have some online and some of yours are live?
I do. So majority of my classes this semester are online, but I'm taking business calculus face-to-face. So I'm not a math-savvy person, so...
can't even imagine calculus online. So
yeah, I didn't want to take calculus online.
No.
So I go to the Vero campus on Mondays and sit face-to-face.
So, how many students in your class?
On the first night, there's always more than it's going to be in the actual semester, but probably about 8 or 9.
Okay. Yeah, that's that would be comfortable as we're all wearing masks and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And then what about, is there any difference? The bookstore's open. You can still get your books and, get your materials for class. I mean, has any of that changed or been kind of modified? What's the deal with getting your supplies and materials?
It has been modified. If you work through financial aid, you still need to do your authorization form and send it to the bookstore to get your books paid for and everything. That's all the same. The difference this semester is they're doing curbside pickup. So you can go to the bookstore's website, and you can do your order for your books, and then give it about 24 hours for them to process your order and everything. And then each campus has a curbside pickup area. It's different. You can go to the bookstore's website to figure out which one, and that's bookstore.irsc.edu to figure out which curbside pickup area for your campus. I know on main campus it's right outside the McAlpin Theater. It's a little drive-through area.
Okay.
But
nice. Okay. And then what about, you mentioned financial aid and things of that nature. That's still on the new Massey campus. I don't call it main campus anymore. We'll call it the Massey campus.
Right.
Massey campus is the W building. You can still physically go in, meet with a counselor. Is that all?
You can. They've got all the little dots on the floor, 6 feet apart. They prefer that, especially when meeting with your counselors, that you register in advance and do it online. Do some Zoom meetings with your advisors and things like that. But if you need to go to the bookstore or campus, you can do that. Just abide by social distancing. Make sure you have your class schedule and your photo ID when you go to pick up books and materials. Those are the two things that you're going to need.
Okay. All right. So college is off and running. At this point, we're hopeful that nothing, goes seriously wrong, and we can kind of get through this semester, and then maybe this the changes and updates and modifications will maybe become a little more familiar with folks, and we can get back to a little normal in the spring. But we're off and running. Glad to hear. And you're taking a full load this semester.
I am taking 4 classes, yes.
Wow. And working
Plus
for the
working
SBDC.
And
full
working
time.
for the SBDC.
How are you doing that? That's amazing.
You know, I don't sleep.
I guess not.
Yeah. All right.
Because I know what the hours are you're working. So.
What time do you go to bed normally?
I really don't think you guys want me to answer that on air, Greg.
Well,
I'm a college student.
Well, so okay, 1 or 2.
It depends on the night.
Yeah.
It could be 2, could be 3. I could just come see Tom the next morning and not slept at all.
Right.
You know,
That's when he buys me coffees. He knows my Starbucks order now. So.
Some sort of upside down Mariaco.
No, listen, I taught him the sizes. He knows what a venti is now. I'm very proud.
Do you know what a
my
venti is now?
goodness.
Yes,
You trained him. All
yes,
right.
I am. Grande and Vente. I got them now.
Speaking of Grande and Vente, students are excited about the Starbucks opening back up at the bookstore too. But I think
cool.
The
Wait a
biggest-
minute. You have a Starbucks?
You didn't
sure
know there's
do.
a Starbucks
No.
on
We
the
sure
main
do.
campus.
Absolutely.
It's
Oh,
like a
man.
branch store. It's not a full store.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's a real
that's
Starbucks.
cool. Yeah.
But the biggest thing for students too is we actually had our fall club rush happen yesterday, and all the clubs presented themselves virtually, and there's a Zoom video that's
Okay.
going to go out to all students on the Student Activities Facebook page so they can kind of get an idea. Each club had about 1.5 minutes to talk about themselves, so the students can get an idea of what clubs are out there and being active in the fall, even at a virtual level. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
So how many clubs do you have at IRSC?
I don't know the exact number, and Rochelle would probably kick me under the table if she was here. I should know it, but
A lot.
there are a lot
yeah.
of clubs. I know that club numbers are down, especially I am the president of the Collegiate DECA chapter at IRSC, which is the business club, and I know our numbers are super low now because students just aren't sure what's going on.
Sure.
So I'm trying to broadcast and get out there. Here I am on the radio talking about it. We're meeting, some face-to-face, some virtually, and I think other clubs are going to do it the same way as well.
Okay, I have to ask. but Tom's favorite event, the DECA Bazaar.
So
What's
What
the
are you
plan?
doing there?
oh man, so
It's like the 75th year or something. What?
it would be the 40th annual
Wow.
DECA
Wow.
Bazaar that would happen, which is the biggest fundraiser that happens at Indian River State
Yeah.
College. This would be my 3rd year serving as coordinator for that event. I did meet with our advisor, Dr. Maitland, this week to talk a little bit about if we think we're going to be able to pull it off. We're thinking we're probably not going to. We haven't set the official notice out to all the vendors, but I think it's just too risky. So this might be the year that we don't have a bazaar, which will be strange for IRSC and strange for, DECA and the community. A lot of community members come to that event. And
you
events in
bet.
general at the college are just, that's one thing that I don't think is going to bounce back until 2021.
I have never been able to go because our basketball team was always playing that weekend out of town. And, of course, this year, we don't start playing until January. So, but at least we're playing.
Yeah.
We are going to play, and And we will be broadcasting our 13th season
Woo.
of IRSC basketball right here on WPSL. Yeah.
Okay, so Katie, we talked. I kind of talked an awful lot about the grants, and again, I can't stress enough. If you've got questions about the grants applications, the SBDC is a good first stop, and if we don't have the answer, we'll get it for you. But let's talk about something new that's coming out, because I think this is a big of big interest to a lot of folks, because this is a question that I get every day. What about grant money for nonprofits? I understand there is a program that's going to be launched or is launched, but where are we with nonprofits and some grant dollars?
Yes, so I am very excited to be able to announce that there is some funding out there for nonprofits now. I had a lot of people calling my phone asking for this the past couple weeks. So I'm happy to report now that United We Recover, which is a partnership between the United Way of St. Lucie County and St. Lucie County to offer emergency financial support through the nonprofit and faith-based organizational assistance program on a first-come, first-served basis. So this grant program is for the reimbursement of expenditures related to the impact of COVID-19 on your organization. So funding for revenue loss due to COVID is an ineligible expense under this program. That's the big thing to understand with that one.
Say that again.
Yeah,
Funding
back up
for
on-
revenue loss due to COVID is an ineligible expense under this
All
program.
right, so you can't apply for money to take the place of the golf tournament you couldn't have.
Right.
But basically, like a lot of our business grants, you can recover expenses.
Yes,
Rent, insurance, payroll.
correct.
The expenses are coverable. Kind of go through some of the eligibility.
And you would
there.
have check stubs for all that stuff.
Sure.
anyway.
Absolutely.
thing.
You would be able to show those
Yes.
expenses.
Sure.
Yes.
So to qualify for the grant, nonprofits and faith-based organizations must operate out of a physical brick-and-mortar facility located in St. Lucie County, so very similar to our other grant things. Be a 501c3 tax-exempt organization, have an active state business registration from Florida Division of Corporations, so have an operational and actively conducting business in St. Lucie County on or before July 1st of 2019. So that establishment date is important as
So
well.
you can't really be a startup charity then.
No.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's
Needs to
just
already be
pretty
established.
common even with our business grants. You had to have been in business at a certain period.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead, Katie. What?
So some of the documents you're going to need to start getting together to apply. The grant is open, and I'm going to give you the address to where you can apply for that here in just a moment. But go ahead and start gathering your documents. You're going to need a copy of the IRS 501c3 determination letter, a list of current board members, including their addresses, an organizational chart, the last 3 board meeting minutes that you had, so get your minutes together.
Nice.
Your January through December 2019 profit and loss statement, and then your January through July of 2020 profit and loss statement, your last fiscal year audit, if applicable, and your most recent annual report or summary of services and impacts, and paid receipts or proof of expenditures requested for reimbursement from COVID-19 impacts.
Wow.
Do we know of dollars that are available at this point, or that's not out yet? Do they?
I don't have that information yet. We do have Deanna Shatley. She's in charge of this. That's who you're going to want to contact with any questions. It just opened a few days ago, so we're just getting the information out there.
Okay.
Deanna will have more on how much you can apply for and things like that, and you can reach her at 772-464-5300. Again, that's 772-464-5300, or shoot her an email at Deanna, DEANA .Shatley, SHATLEY at UnitedWaySLC.org.
Nice.
All right, so that answers the big question that, again, we've been getting quite a bit as all this has been taking place, these small business grant programs, is what is available for nonprofits. The program is now out, at least in St. Lucie County.
Yes, this is for St. Lucie County,
right.
United Way.
Okay. And United Way of St. Lucie County is basically, I think, the primary point of contact for that loan and or that grant, and they're partnering with St. Lucie County on that. So
you can learn more about the eligibility requirements and do the application at UnitedWaySLC.org/cares.
Okay.
So that's
All
where
right.
you can find out more
That's
about
great.
that.
All right, good information there on nonprofits. So there is going to be some funding available for nonprofits. I mean, when you look at, let's face it, it's been rough on nonprofits because the biggest, one of their biggest money makers are the events they do. Well, there's been no
Right.
events. I mean, I just, think about it. We haven't had a Friday Fest, which has been an iconic event
Oh, yeah.
for 30 some odd years. We haven't had a Friday Fest, I think, since March.
I believe
So-
you're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I know that there's some nonprofits out there. Met with a couple last week in Indian River County. So there's some. It's been tough times for the nonprofits too. So keep that in mind, folks. And again, so we've got the word out on nonprofits and got a grant for
And
them.
as they get more information in the next couple weeks, we're actually going to feature Deanna on Small Biz Florida on Thursday, September 17th. She'll have all the information. She'll be here with Tom, kind of broadcasting out to St. Lucie County on it. So
And hopefully the other United Ways will do the same thing.
Yeah,
I'm
I
keeping
in the
would-
my
rest
eye
of
out.
our
Yeah.
area.
I think I think what you see most counties are going to do. I think there's got to be some help out there for nonprofits. So hopefully we'll see
I
the
hope
same type of program in the other three counties. Let's talk, Katie. You've been obviously intimately involved in St. Lucie counties as well as Indian River counties, but St. Lucie counties is obviously just the nature of the counties, just a little bigger program. Kind of just update us on what I mentioned earlier. Things are starting to kind of move in getting some funding out in St. Lucie County. What are just some of the things that I think we ought to stress to people? Because obviously there's still money available in St. Lucie County, and we're still
Right.
looking for applicants. But give us a couple of key things, because the application process, the yes and no's, and that's easy. What are some of those key areas that a business really needs to focus on when filling out that St. Lucie County grant application?
just to remember that this is a reimbursement grant. So we're going to need to see paid expenses for the months of March, April, and May. If that's, if it's your rent, as long as you didn't get the PPP, you can use your rent checks for those months as examples of your paid expenses. That's probably one of the biggest
Right.
things.
Yeah.
Um,
And again, I think if you got the PPP and you got it during those time periods, you can't use payroll because obviously the
Correct.
county's not going to let a business double dip, so to speak.
Right.
So you can't get paid by the federal government for your payroll and the county government. And Katie's absolutely right. Just look at those 3 months, March, April, and May, when you're filling out that application, and look at your paid expenses. Rent, absolutely. You can get reimbursed for the rent. Utilities, you can get reimbursed for utilities. Insurance, you can get reimbursed for insurance. Any bill that it took you, any expense that it took you to operate that business in March, April, and May, you can submit for. And of course, the grants are 3 or below employees, you can get up to $5,000. 3 or higher, you can get up to $7,500. So, again, just that's the key area to look for. And I think the other area that we've had some issues in is the employee roster.
correct.
Again, people have sent us, and it's not their fault. They've sent us all. We're getting all kinds of various.
Handwritten notebook notes.
Yeah.
Is this under 10 employees or 10 or under?
Yes, it's 10 or under.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
10 or under.
And remember, part-time employees only count as takes 2 part-timers to make it 1. So you can have over 10. You just can't have you can't have over 10 total, including the part-timers. You got to count those as 2 equals 1. So again, the employee roster, people have been sending us payroll reports and those kind of things. Look, the employee roster, read the directions in that application. Pretty simple, just a roster, a list of the employees, full or part-time, start date, and their telephone number.
Correct.
And I might be missing something, but it's all in there. So I think those are 2 areas that we really have struggled with a little bit in St. Lucie County, and I think it's easy to fix. So is that kind of where are we? Any other things that we need to update St. Lucie County's grant on, Katie? Is there anything new, different, or it's really the same? what's the website to find the application at?
Right. So read through and get all your documents together before you do the application is another big
Good
thing
advice.
that we need to tell people.
Yes.
You know, read through what documents you're going to need and then get them together ahead of time so it's easier for the upload process. But you can find the application on recoverstlucie.org, and that's recoverstlucie.org. I did have quite a few people trying to put Saint, Saint, and they couldn't find it, so it's St. Lucie.
Okay. Katie, I think, unless you've got anything else to update on, I think that's it for, grants. My stress, if you're a small business operator and if you were forced to close, you need to be looking at the grants in your county because they're out. Every one of our county has them.
Right. And I think the only other thing that we need to stress, as the FSBDC, is kind of the birth of the mobile unit and the bridge loan came from hurricane season, and we are in hurricane season now.
Right.
Laura and everything is hitting Louisiana and Texas pretty hard.
Poor
and our
folks
thoughts
over
go to
there.
them. Yes, of course. But start, as Floridians and Floridian business owners, going back to our show a couple weeks ago about hurricane preparedness, just back up your data. Make sure you have insurance and keep in contact with your employees if Florida does see something on the horizon.
Yeah. Well, before we went on the air, there's one out there.
Oh, don't
it's
tell me that.
it's
Right.
on the horizon.
So a great point, Katie, and I'm glad you brought that up too. It's absolutely great point. We're also focused on COVID right now. We've kind of forgotten. We forget and then we remember, of course, when we watch the weather at night. But we are in hurricane season, so we do, as small business owners, we need to be prepared. And we had a meeting the other day regarding the emergency bridge loan. So I think the state is committed to continuing that. So again, if we were to get hit, I think there would be the availability, of potential emergency bridge loan funds again. So that's a good thing. So
I remember a couple of years ago when you guys were talking about your special papers and put them in a hurricane safe box, if you will.
Right.
Yeah, or tote or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And that's what we did. And we've actually, we were looking for something the other day and we realized, wait a minute, it's probably still in the tote, and it was. Yeah.
Speaking of back to school, Katie's kind of updated us on where we are with the college instruction and college classes. I did want to take just a minute tonight to also remind people that CCTI is up and running. We, like everyone, CCTI has taken a COVID beat down because we couldn't, you couldn't bring people together. The campus was closed. So when we don't have a classroom, we're not unlike the typical college classroom. We can't bring people together for training. But as the college has opened for students, we have also opened for instructional training through the CCTI. So the calendar is again beginning to fill up. If you go to the irscbiz.com site and click on September, you will start to see classes again beginning to show up and be scheduled. We've got a CLA program beginning. There's the Introduction to Marine Technology program that just recently launched. We have a SHRM, which is the Society of Human Resource Management. We've got those certification classes again beginning. The season of BAP is back up and running. Port St. Lucie's BAP program will start next Wednesday night. And again, Bob's got basic Microsoft Office. We've got our very popular advanced photography and beginning and intermediate photography classes opening again on September the 15th on the Massey campus. We've got a great nonprofit program, Partners in Prosperity. That's scheduled for September the 14th. We've got so anyway, there's just all kinds of stuff going on. There's a BAP program that's going to start.
Explain the BAP for new listeners.
Yeah, I got it. Sorry, I use that acronym.
And new business owners.
Yes, it's the Business Accelerator Program. And what better time to get involved in this program than now? there's certainly not a whole lot of cost to these business accelerator programs, is what BAP stands for. And basically, it is 8 to 12 nights of business training. Customer service, dealing with difficult people, how to use digital marketing to increase your business, better understanding of your financials, legal issues in the workplace, how to write a business plan. So it is really an incredibly powerful training program for small business owners and operators. The cost is nominal. I think it's $25 maybe to get involved in the program. It's sponsored by some local banks. I think Center State still sponsors the Port St. Lucie, the City of Port St. Lucie BAP program. So again, it's a great opportunity, and what better time, for a business owner to kind of take the time to go back, get in a room with other business owners, network. You never know what could come out of that networking session. You may meet somebody who needs your product. So it really is an excellent time to get involved again and take some classes. But again, the SHRM class is taking place. The Port St. Lucie Business Accelerator Program starts September the 2nd. It is on a Wednesday night. It goes from 6 to 9, and literally it is $25 for, I believe it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 nights of training.
Now, is that in person or is that virtual?
This is a live class, going to be in person on the Pruitt campus in our Enterprise Hub. The topics will be time management, dealing with difficult people, sales and marketing, exceptional customer service, small business finance, the business plan, legal issues in the workplace, successful marketing with social media, talent search, recruitment and retention, management and supervision, and professional presentations and promotion. Just incredible. For $25 for that. Hard to believe. Again, sponsored by our good friends at Center State is another round of our Partners in Prosperity program. It's our Institute for Nonprofit Excellence. The topics include leadership, effective communication, team building, conflict and challenging employees, diversity, and time management. And again, all those classes for $25. And that's thanks to Center State. And then, of course, our basic CCTI offerings, as I told you. So CCTI, the Corporate and Community Training Institute, the best kept secret around the Treasure Coast, is up and running and back in business.
Very
also.
cool.
All right.
Nice.
All right, Katie. What else have you got on your list? What have you got for
Tom,
me?
We may have just about covered it all. We did our CCTI update.
Okay.
We need to do some updates on the podcast here soon. The Small Biz Florida
yes,
podcast.
I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna go on my my apology tour.
It continues.
Yeah. I will take the Mobile Assistance Center and go on my apology tour. Yes, we've been a little behind on the podcast, but we'll get caught up on that. And I do apologize for that. And I thank all the people that tune into this show. I thank all the people that tune into the podcast. But we're sort of kind of digging our way out as the pipeline gets full on these business grant applications, and we are getting back to our important work of providing consulting out there in the community.
So the van is going to get rewrapped, and it's going to say the Kindred Apology Tour.
I don't know if headquarters is going to like that.
Go through
Right.
Treasure Coast. Right?
Yes, I'll take that around, and I'll have my phone with me as I return all the calls from the van. I will return calls. So, but yes, Katie, we have what we call the MAC unit, the Mobile Assistance Center, and it was funny. I was in Vero today, and I stopped at a restaurant who. We needed some documentation to complete his grant. And so I went inside. I met with the owner. I said, here's what I need. And he said, well, but how do I get it to you? I don't have a copy machine. I said, man, I have a complete office right outside your door. So he was quite shocked. I have computer, copy machine, printer, scanner, Wi-Fi. It's all there. So, there's, again,
curbside service.
Curbside service.
Some people think that it just doesn't make sense, but really the birth of this unit came from after hurricane season when businesses needed help applying for loans and they didn't have an office anymore because it was blown away.
Yeah.
So
and it's great. Has a little. It's all battery, powered, so I can push a button and it lights up the whole van. And I had a applicant in the city of Port St. Lucie the other day. He walked in and he said, "But I don't have any way to upload these documents." I said, "Say no more." I have a scanner on board. I scanned his taxes and his W-9, and so yes. So we have the ability. We will help you with all that. And that reminds me, Katie, I have some of those uploaded documents that you need to remind me about that are probably stuck on the desktop. But we have tried to get out and help with these grants, and we're going to continue to help with the grants. But hopefully we've kind of opened up the valve now and beginning to flow, so we can return now to what some of our normal work is, and that's consulting and helping with the local business community. So anyway, good point on the van. So that is a complete update, Greg. Did we miss anything? We've got college, we've got CCTI, we've got grant programs, we've got SBDC. I can't do the sports. Where?
Oh well, there's news on that front too.
Where are we with volleyball, softball, baseball?
It's all going to be in the spring.
Okay.
I don't know how they're going to handle the practice sessions, but volleyball, our basketball, with men's and women's, we're going to play at least 21 games. So it's down from 28. We'll start playing in January, maybe go into March, because I don't think there's going to be a state tournament. I have no idea how they're going to handle that. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Volleyball will be there, and, of course, softball and baseball as well. And swimming is all going to be in the spring. So normally they travel,
right?
And like our swimmers usually travel out to California. Good luck.
Yeah.
No chance. And they'd have nobody to swim against because the Pac-10
that's right.
killed all sports. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's it. So a total and complete update from Indian River State College, academic, corporate training, and business assistance. And with that, thank you, Katie, for putting all this together tonight and compiling all this information.
I'm happy.
Thank you, Greg, for hosting us for 5 dog years. And with that, we will talk to you next week on Small Biz Florida.
The Tom Kindred Apology Tour.
Continues. Yes, sorry. I'll try to return those calls tomorrow.
You've been listening to Small Biz Florida on WPSL Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station.